Today I want to talk about tips for young black males in college. I'll keep this video under 15 minutes because I know y'all don't want to hear me talk all day and all night. I do understand that some of my longer videos do get the least amount of views, so I'll definitely keep it short. I'm going to give you my 10 tips to how you can succeed in college, tips to college, just for any freshman in high school, freshman and senior in high school, freshman in college, even a senior in college the last year, you want to do great. The number one rule I would tell you about going to college is never get behind. I'm notorious for being known that as soon as I don't do 12 o'clock. I don't do the 12 o'clock thing. Like if the class starts up, summer semester, fall semester starts on the 25th. If it's the 24th, I'm not waiting till 12 o'clock on that night to do something. But I'm definitely notoriously known for getting up at 7 or 8 o'clock, treating it just like a regular class, and knocking out the first assignments that are possible. The easiest stuff is an introduction. You usually get 5 points for an introduction. You usually get another 5 points if you basically test out the Blackboard system and basically send a message, or you may even write a little one paragraph paper about what describes you best, or give 3 facts about yourself. So I usually always get started on my assignments early, although you usually have a good 3 to 4 days before they're done, particularly if a class starts like on a Tuesday. The professor will usually throw one thing at you, not all of them, but a couple have. So I get started. So don't never get behind, and that even goes into credit hours. Tip number 2, never get behind on college credits. What I mean by this is if you go to a 2-year school, you need at least 30 credit hours to me if you want to graduate in 2 years flat, just to be able to graduate in 2 years. What that basically means is you can take a full load of courses, which will be 5 classes at 3 credit hours apiece, which is basically 5 classes. You can do 3 in person and maybe 2 online. I know some people at my particular institution I go to now, I see them every single day. So they come to class 4 days a week, maybe even 5. I don't know, because a couple of classes do have Friday classes. And what they basically do is, even though I always see them in the library, I'm assuming they go into school sometime between that. If they're not, that's just insane. But hopefully they are going to class between that time. So they're taking a full load, which is 5 classes apiece at 3 credit hours each. So 15 credit hours for the fall semester, 15 for the spring semester. Come back and do 15 and 15. You got your 60 credit hours. So never get behind on college credits. But this goes into number 3. College is not a fantasy world. So at the same time, just because you may think you can do 15 15 to get out there, that's not always logical, or that's not always what can happen. If I see a class getting too tough, I drop out of it. I withdraw from it. If I see a professor asking for too much, I see a professor who doesn't really quite understand what it's like to be a college student, doesn't quite understand what it's like to have a job and school at the same time, what it doesn't mean to have other priorities. You have those people in period in life, not just professors, but just people in general in life, who once they get to the top, they forget what it's like to be a couple of steps lower than what they used to be. Does that make sense? Or they forget when they were in your shoes. So you're gonna have those people. So I definitely just tell you, take advantage of the withdrawal period. And if you do have to withdraw from a class, which basically is 50% of the class you have to complete if you're taking financial aid, and then you're eligible to drop out. Use a withdrawal deadline that they always have. So always consult with your admissions office about that withdrawal deadline. But anyway, uh, if you do have to withdraw from classes, summer class is always something to look forward to. Summer semester, people like to take the whole summer off and party and enjoy. And I understand those things, or work full time, or even pick up extra shift in between time, and so forth and so on, or just some time to R&R. But I'm a big proponent that if you did not get those 15 credit hours those 2 semesters, try to take those summer classes that you can to catch up. Some classes are a little bit more tougher because it's less time, but you have to do the same amount of work. So that's why I always say if you're really pretty good in English, definitely look at maybe even taking English during the summertime. I like to take English in person. I'm taking English online, English 102 online, currently as we speak for the summer semester, and I'm not really as excited about it as I would be in taking on person, for the simple fact is this: to me the instructions are not You cannot get that one-on-one help, and you cannot get that one-on-one understanding from what exactly your professors want. And usually most of the professors that you had semester before are main professors, so part-time professors usually come in to teach summer classes, so you may not always get the professor you had the semester before, and that's something, definitely to think about. But anyway, definitely take those advantage of those summer classes. So you can take four. I wouldn't tell you to take no less than four classes per semester. So you can take four at 3 credit hours, which is 12 and 12, which is 24. Then you can turn around and take two courses during the summertime, or you may want to do a mini term, and then if you are hard struggling at math, you take the whole summer and do math or whatever you want to do, or anyway you just get those 24 credit hours knocked out in those 2 semesters. Then when summertime roll around, you get your two more class, you take two more classes, and then you're out. And you got 30 credit hours, and then you basically have to do the same thing. Now, I believe you may have to get your degree with a contingency, or basically like they would just give you a piece of paper without your exact degree on it. But if you want to walk across the stage with your degree and everything, I would definitely much so tell you to take those classes, take advantage of the mini term, and definitely take advantage of the summer semester. There are loans out there for that. FAFSA does not cover for it, but you can get a small loan and be able to take care of those needs. Number four, I would tell you don't go and goof around in college. You're going to be a lot of temptation, a lot of distractions, a lot of people who would not have your best interest in mind. So I would definitely just tell you do not goof off in college. Get to know people. Figure out people's patterns. Look at the social dynamic and the social structure of things. Just don't mess around. Even if you're roommate, if you live on campus or you don't live on campus, whatever you do, don't just blow it and waste it. People go to the library just to hang out. I go to the library to study. That's what weekends are for, to hang out. That's what after class in the hallways and stuff is for the hangout. But if I'm coming to a situation where I'm going to spend 2-3 hours on campus at school, or maybe not even on campus, but just in a library at any library, USA, America, I'm not going to spend that 3 hours playing around. I'm being to the library working and trying to get some work done. That's not really what 3 hours should be used at, particularly be at the library. They teach that real early. The library is not really for talking and conversating. You learned that at 5 years old. Well, I learned that now still at 19, 18, 20, whatever, 21, 22, definitely take time and use wisely. That takes me to number five, study extremely hard. Dr. Boyce Watkins, I'm going to leave that video in the description box below, talked about how, I believe at 18, he got a girl pregnant, and he was working at McDonald's or Taco Bell or somewhere like that, and he was saying he had not taken the time to study correctly. And that actually when he began to study, his grades shot up even more, and that he graduated with, I believe, a A and GPA of 4.0 or something close to that. And he took the time to study, advance, and grow. And he used at least 4 to 6 hours, I believe, a day, he said, to study. I believe in definitely taking, at the bare minimum, an hour on each and every subject every single day, even Saturdays and Sundays. We make sure that's not applicable or that's not whatever, but I've seen people on jobs where they could be working at Taco Bell or Waffle House or IHOP or something and carry their textbook to work and study while they're on break. I've seen people who work in the financial aid office bring their laptop with them when they're doing work study and just type papers and stuff while nobody was inside the financial aid center. So it's always you can find time to study and steal a window and cheat a window. I mean cheat a second of time. I don't mean cheat that, and that's my transition. I was using the keyword transition. You can steal a second of time to always study and motivate. Number six, never cheat. Plagiarism is very much frowned upon at any institution, and if you do that, you will be kicked out. And at the very least, you will be kicked out of that class with a record of being plagiarizing and cheating. So I do say like this, particularly if you go to a 2-year college, you may have these at some 4-year colleges as well. They usually offer a lot of developmental programs, so you should be able to talk to somebody. Again, in 2-year college, the classrooms are a lot smaller, so you may have a former English professor. I wouldn't advise to do this during the summer semester because most teachers are going then. But if you have a very professor that you're very much close to or that you know or something like that, or you may have a teacher in your family, Then if you're just really stuck on one specific paper, not all the papers, hopefully you know enough about that, but you're stuck on one specific paper, just be like, can you read this? Don't give me any help, don't give me any tips, but does it sound well? Because I find that a lot of people, that the only time they try to go on the internet and try to copy and paste or find the paper is when they're stuck on an idea. So just definitely just use your contact wisely, and so forth and so on. And then most even colleges even offer like tutoring and stuff like that. So you may even have to hook up a little tutoring session and be like, okay, this is a paper I got. This is a math problem I got. I know it got flaws, but do you think that it's not? And then if they say no, this is not a passing paper, or like you have too many errors in it, then take that paper home, look through it, be honest about yourself, and don't be stubborn. And if you have to throw that whole paper out the window or at least revise it as much as you can, then you do that. Let's see. Number six, I would say, is always, always, always come prepared. The number one thing I learned in the last 2 weeks, and even not going to my personal life, I'm sure you don't want to hear, is always carry a pen and paper with you, no matter where you go. I can't tell you how many times this last 2 weeks alone, I've been hearing people say, "Do you have a pen?" People saying no. Do you have a pen? They saying no. Do you have paper? They saying no. And I just don't mean that in the classroom. I mean that in the workforce. I mean in the doctor's office. I mean that in the outside world. So many people have asked that question in the last 2 weeks that I felt that maybe God put me in that situation or those situations to tell you to always carry pen and paper, a little minnow pad or whatever you call them, little mini pads you can put in your shirt pocket, with a little quick little pen. Number seven, I would tell you to always, always, always make sure that you raise your hand and sit in the front. Your professor, while you're at that college, is basically your teacher, and it's so much better because your professor will see you working hard. They will know that you're a good student. They'll be more willing and to answer questions that you have for them, and just sitting in the front and just being wise about certain things, and don't be a disruption, but also a benefit. Try your best to read the chapter. I know a lot of times when I was in class, taking classes Mondays and Wednesdays, he would tell us Wednesday we're going Monday. Excuse me, I would go there Wednesday, and the professor would say, "Well, on Wednesday we're going to discuss chapter 5." Then by the time you got inside that Monday morning, he would be like, a lot of people always say, "Did you read chapter 5?" And nobody would raise their hand, and I would raise my hand. Or at the very least, if you don't want to raise your hand and be seen like, I know people, some in immature places that's at both 4 years and 2 years, they still be like teacher's pet and stuff. But if they ask a question, just nicely hint when they ask that question, well, what was, okay, let's say we studied the Egyptians. Well, what was the Egyptians' biggest treasure, or what did they hold and possess as the highest thing? And if you read chapter 5, you can easily sneak that in, raise your hand, and say, well, they love gold from a physical standpoint, but from a spiritual standpoint and any other standpoint, they like divinity. That pharaohs actually looked at themselves as gods, or the representation of gods, as well as the Romans looked at themselves as being divine, or being connected with and entwined with divinity and higher power, that mere mortals and men thought that they were gods. Even though the Egyptians, they had some next level stuff, so I ain't even questioning nothing that they even thought of, because it's some stuff with the Egyptians that they even have everybody else like, wow, nobody has ever been as advanced as the Egyptians. But anyway, so you see what I'm saying? You can easily throw that in that you read chapter 5. Well, I read in chapter 5 that so and so and so and so. He's gonna see that. He's gonna see that you came prepared. That you just didn't spend Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday partying, eating, sleeping, playing video games, or just working, because still school is an extension of work, I consider it. He's gonna see that you were actually out there studying, or at least took the opportunity to pick up that book, at least when you went home on that Wednesday afternoon, and that you actually had enough respect for the class to actually want to go inside there and actually be able to answer some of those questions and remember some of the things that were inside of that thing. So number 8, I would tell you, take advantage of academic advisor. Tell your academic advisor as much as you can, and see them at least, I would say, once every 2 months. If classes are If classes last 4 months, or at least 12 weeks, as most of them last maybe 3 months, take advantage to see that academic advisor before you're about to pick classes for the next semester. Then during that year, see your academic advisor the first week of school. See your advisor in the middle of school, somewhere around midterm, and then go see your academic advisor towards the end, and repeat it again. So before the semester starts, go see your academic advisor again. So it's basically just a pattern of being familiar with them, them understanding what you're trying to complete, being open and honest, saying I want to graduate in 4 years flat, I want to graduate in 2 years flat, and the courses that I'm picking fit into my degree plan, and so forth and so on. Just be honest with them and talk to them straight up, and then at the same time do what you can accordingly. Number nine, do what's best for you. I learned this very easy, very simply. I was so crazy because the first time I went to go talk about my classes, they were like, "Oh, class is gonna be so hard to go from Mondays and Wednesdays." So I would spread the classes out two a day, and I spread them out two a day. But I spread myself so thin that from doing outside responsibilities and going to school 4 days a week, by the time I was about 4 or 5 weeks away from finals, I was just like, forget everything, because I was burnt. My eyes were red. I was tired of sleepy, going to school every day, drinking coffee, had yellow teeth. I mean, it was messed up from drinking coffee. Coffee darkens your teeth, whatever. That's a joke. Um, and just being tired of going to school every single day, spending 5 6 hours a day at school. I was burnt out. So definitely, if you can, do what's best for you. So if going to class every day is best for you, to even it out, so that you can sleep maybe in the evening times, or in the evenings, or maybe even sleep, or maybe if you're working, you can kind of manipulate the schedule for it can kind of carry on with your shift at work or whatever you have to do. Then definitely do that. Or if not, you can do like I did, take Mondays and Wednesdays as spring semester. Once you're seeing the fall semester, how much those 4 days a week burnt me out. I started going to school. Um, uh, uh, I started going to school on Mondays and Wednesdays only, and took advantage of taking online classes. And I went to school twice, that every Monday and Wednesday. I went to school from probably like 9:30 to I was there till about 1 o'clock every Monday and Wednesday, and the other two classes I took online. So definitely take advantage of that. Number nine is dress well. Dress well. Don't come there looking slouchy. Don't come there looking bummy. Again, sit in the front row, and when you have good appearance, pay attention. Every now and again, wear a button up. Every now and again, wear a polo. I wear them to class every day. No, I've never ever worn a T-shirt to class since I've been going to school here. That's straight up like that. Ask anybody. I never worn a T-shirt to class. Besides one day, I think I wore a Martin Luther King T-shirt just because it was close to the holiday, and so forth and so on. So other than that, if the lesson just really means something, don't ever wear a t-shirt to class. I wear a button up, I wear a polo, I put my nice boots on. I don't mean my dressy boots, but I put like my work boots on or whatever, and I put a pair of jeans on and look very clean. You can wear church shoes if you want to, or not, buy yourself a nice little pair of loafers or something, or even if you decide to wear Jordans with khaki pants or khaki shorts, just wear a nice clean crisp polo with it. Wear a watch. Just little things, to definitely have. If you ain't got your hair cut that day, wear a hat to school. But let it be a very clean hat. Nothing with no trees and leaves on it, if you know what I mean. Wear a very nice school hat, or, if you're a football fan, wear NFL, MLB, NBA hat, just to kind of complement your outfit. And number 10, what I'll tell you, just don't be a statistic. As a black man, young brother, just going to college is something amazing. I know people say, oh, it's cliche, the black male going to college thing. But I've seen the end game to this world. I've seen things from a universal angle. I'm young, but I lived like 3 4 times over and over again. And I've seen things over and over again. And I know what the end game is. I know what the trap is set up. So just for you to go to college is an accomplishment within yourself. Be courageous. Be smart about every choice that you make. Don't make any foolish decisions. Don't do anything foolish for anybody or anyone. Don't believe in peer pressure and all that kind of stuff. But even if you're in class, whether you're surrounded by everybody that looks like you, or whether you're the only brother in the class, do what you gotta do. Don't worry about the rest of the world. You do you. You take care of yourself, and you protect yourself, and you guard yourself. And you go inside the class every day with confidence, knowing that you're no less than anyone else in there. You understand what I mean? And what I mean by no less, that you're equal to everybody in there. That you're just as smart as the straight A student in that class. That you're just as wise. That you're just as talented. That you're just as headstrong. That you're just as knowledgeable. And at even point you don't feel like that, you give yourself a gut check and you look in the mirror and tell yourself you are. But then even further than that, you back it up with facts. You open up that textbook the first day you get it. You read, you meditate on that stuff. That let that textbook become your child. You sleep, put it up on the pillow and you sleep with that textbook at night. You see what I'm saying? Instead of YouTube videos, you subscribe to math tutoring channels. You subscribe to English tutoring channels. You watch the history channel. You go back it up with facts. And you go back it up with credible resources. And with that, my friend, you will graduate college. College is not that hard. Don't let anybody fool you. It's not like the movies. Either way, whether it be the over partying or the over hard, neither one of them like that. Take it from somebody who's actually there. It's the same way that it's always been. It's the same way it always will be. If you look hard enough for trouble, you will find it. If you look hard enough, search hard enough, and act hard enough upon it, you will find success. Both of them. Two roads. Which one will you take will decide what happens. But anyway, as always, it's me, Brown Brother. Like, share, subscribe, and we're on to the next one. But until then, I'll see you and stay strong.